We are glad to introduce our next speaker, Architect Dimple Mittal, Design and Principal Architect, Maya Praxis, Bengaluru, India.
I'm Dimple Mittal from Bangalore. I had a firm called Maya Praxis along with my partner Vijay Narnapati. So to give you a personal introduction, yes, I finished my college from SPA long ago, went to US to do masters at University of Cincinnati, where I did MS in History and Theory of Architecture. Worked in California for about 3 years, then decided, no, that's not the life I want to live, want to come back to India and start our own practice. So we came to Bangalore in 2001 and started practice. So it's going to be 20 years in this 2021. And I think I'm thanks to School of Architecture and Interior Design and SRM Institute of Science and Technology to make me part of this Icon Best 2021. Looking forward to it. What I've heard from the organizers, it's going to be a great event where teachers, professors, alumni, architects, everybody is going to come together, and there's going to be a lot of conversations and exchange of ideas, which I think after this pandemic time would be a really good thing. So really looking forward to it. Now I'm going to show you guys my presentation. So yeah, presentation is titled Making Ideas Work. Before I explain the title, I would like to unfold the meaning of Maya Praxis. Every time I go somewhere, everybody asks me, what does Maya Praxis mean? So Maya, actually, one of the meanings of Maya is giving form to an idea. And praxis is actually Latin root for practice, which means an act of making through deep involvement. So what it means is, in our works, we always start with an idea. And that idea comes from an understanding of climate, technology, site, or maybe some external ideas also come into the picture of every project. Work. Design has to work at both utilitarian level and an emotional level. It's important how it functions and how it feels. That's really important. In all our projects, we make sure that. Making has to do with crafting of the building, with technology and the skills available. So any project we do, we have to keep these three things, they are the core things on how all our projects come together. But all this has to do with reference to the experience, because finally it's about the experience of human in both body and mind. And that's what we call is embodied experience. So first I'll talk about few projects which are, like, very briefly, I'll tell you how they started with an idea, and then later I'll describe 4 projects in detail. So this is an idea where we got that it came from an idea of a seashell, because this is an apartment building, 6 apartment boutique building in Chennai on ECR Road. So how seashell, it kind of protects the inhabitor by giving the right amount of air and ventilation. Similarly, this building, it opens only from one side, the east facade, where we get the right light and ventilation. For all other 3 sides, we have a core which is like punctured by only few windows. So that's what gives the right amount of habitation required for for the climate of Chennai. The other project here, this is a simple farmhouse, and what we did is we took the simple form of masonry construction of walls and lightweight roof, like a simple village house. What we did is we just extended the walls to the ground to form the triangle. And this project is, it's called House Triangle and very famous amongst all the students. And this is what we did. The walls just extended and completed the triangle, and that's what gave the form to it. Otherwise, it's a simple farmhouse. The other, what we are working here is a lot of foot over bridges. What is the function of a foot over bridges? To just cross the road from one side of the road to the other. But what we need to do is we need to celebrate these things as insertions into our cities. We need to celebrate our streets. So we want to make them a sculpture, which people enjoy when you walk through them, or what you see from there, or what you see from the road. All these different foot-over bridges are coming from this tubular structural geometry. Somewhere it's triangular, somewhere it's circular. Here we got inspired by the spine, so that's what it was. It became the structural idea, and then it spans. So these are the different foot-over bridges. The other project what we did, this was like a competition for Indian music experience here in Bangalore. So here the idea is how a musician picks up a different 7 notes. He decides how to make a raga, which note comes first, or how to join them to make a raga. What we did is we just took the 4 sides of it and divided into 7 notes. Then we did a lot of permutation of combination of joining those points, which were like joining these 7 notes. We did, and then we picked up one which gave us a grid to design that building. The building came out of those lines, and the plan came out of that. Another project here, this was again a competition project, which was lighting museum. So here what we did is we took, how light comes alive in its meeting with the crystal. It dazzles, reflects, refracts. It's light and divine celebration of light. So the structural geometry of the electrical poles, the crystal structure, that were the inspiration to give us this building, which gave us this idea of doing these light courts, in between these exhibition spaces. And that's how this design came up. Now this project, from now on, I'll explain the projects more in detail. So this is a project which is called Yoga Nikaya, where yoga postures inspires the architecture. So it's a wellness retreat, which we took these ideas, what is wellness, which is involving body and mind and soul. And retreat is a place where you get rejuvenated. It's a 7.5 acres farm, which was a fruit and flower orchard farm. And what we did is we did a lot of sight lines, looked at the views, the angles, and we came up with this sketch. The first sketch went all over, we kind of extended the plan. Then we realized that we had only 1.5 acres of this land which was clear. Rest was fruit and flower orchard. We decided we have to keep it stuck to that, 1.5 acres. So we just took that sketch and kind of, made it in that 1.5 acres, where the project had this plaza around which we had the meditation hall, yoga hall, and a reception. That's where you enter. These were the cottages which were aligned in a street-like thing. And at the end of it, we had this, like the large building which became the backdrop, which is the dining and the dormitory building. So that's the overview of the project. So if you see these sketches, what we did, we got inspired by, this, how in yoga posture, when the body, it's not as stable, it's like a standing building. When you stand, it's like body is just stable, the building is stable, and all vertical buildings look like that. So in a yoga posture, it's like a fine balance you have to make, at an angle position. Similarly, all our buildings we took the inspiration from that, and we did it with idea of these tilted walls and tilted roofs. And this is another building which we actually was a literal translation of this Bhujang Asana. So I'll describe each building in little detail. So these were the cottages where we had like a toilet. Above the toilet, we had a little space to do yoga, and that was the bed space. And this is how then we did like these mounds where it is kind of scaled down the building. And then though the building was, the entrance from the other side was lower, but here the landscape hugged the building. And that's how it came along the street. Then the yoga building, which was these big, let's say, metal portals, which we needed a big span in this building, a large yoga hall. We did with metal portals, and that's how they became like it spanned that, and we got this large interior space. Most of these buildings have the same style. What we did, whereas is we had these two side walls which were made with this local stone. The two other walls were made with wood and glass, which brought light and ventilation. This is a reception building. The reception building from inside. The flooring, most of them had this cement flooring. What you see, roof is made out of like this recycled, reused pine wood, which gave insulation because the rooftop was lightweight metal roofing sheet. This is the dining and the dormitory building. This was one of the largest building. Here, we took the same idea of splitting, where we did one, let's say, stone wall in front and like a plastered wall in the back. And in between here, the staircase went through, which was kind of this space. The staircase came up, and we had the dormitories above. In the middle of the project, our client asked us to add an observatory to the project, and that's where we came up with this building. And how I was telling you that we looked at this Bhujangasana, and it kind of became one of the literal way, arms and legs stretched, and somebody looking up, and literally again an observatory there to look up at the sky and the stars. So that's what it is. That's what you see is the dome of the observatory. And under the dome of the observatory, we put the water tank, because we didn't want any other water tank on each of those structures. And that's the staircase which leads to the observatory. Then along the plaza, we had the meditation hall. Purposely, we put the meditation hall down in the basement, because all other buildings were how you connect to the sun, sky. You're aware of it, where meditation is more about inner reflection. So we thought we take this building kind of down, which takes you to kind of another world with a court there. And then you come in and you make a space where you can reflect inside and do meditation. And yes, it had, like we did rainwater harvesting, solar, all the sustainable features, use of local materials, everything. And that's what the whole complex after it came up. And some of the pictures where it's being used on these yoga festivals, what they have. They also do dance performances. The second project which I'm going to talk about is it's a swimming pool structure which we did for Aditi Malia International School in Bangalore. This building is also inspired by the swimmer in motion, because we were housing a swimming pool. We decided the roof is inspired by this swimmer in motion, and the columns were inspired by the person when is it's standing just about to take diving, and that's what this sketch describes. And that's what the twin columns, that's how they came up, with the idea of somebody just standing in and about to dive. So here what it was is, if you ask me, it's a shed. It's a shed which had to house a swimming pool, where the field was nearby and school wanted to make a covered swimming pool. What our idea was that we wanted, in a place like Bangalore, we wanted light and ventilation to give it as much as possible feel of an outdoor space, but still it is dust proof and rain proof, what they want for classes to have all the time. It's a structure by 32 meters span which we had to do, and that we spanned by this bow-shaped truss inspired by that curve which came from a swimmer in motion. And these were those like twin columns which we did a careful detailing of a place where a metal structure could come and take the weight from these bow-shaped trusses. Light just beautifully pours in this space, which creates this beautiful feel, and one can see these trees on the one side where there are beautiful trees, what you see from the windows here. The other thing, what I think I'm proud on this project, what we did is, the client wanted us to do electrical heating. We came up with an idea of doing solar heating, one of the first in the south of India. There are 120 solar panels on this roof, which we had to align in a different direction. The structure had to be designed to be aligned in the right direction, where we still had to avoid those skylights. And this shows, how that, where the twin columns, where we designed this along with our structural engineer, Mr. B.L. Manjunath, where we came up and designed this like joint where it could take the two columns, where these two columns, and that's where these bow-shaped trusses end. So yes, a shed can also be a beautiful architecture. The other last project which I am presenting is, our own building in Bangalore, where it's our own home and office. So here, it's a small site in a residential area in Bangalore, and we decided to do both home and office. We took this idea of actually doing the home on the ground and the half first floor, whereas office was upstairs. Quickly describing, like basement which had the parking, the ground floor which had the ramp to go down to the basement, living, dining, family in one bedroom. But we put above the ramp is where our office entrance, the reception. The first floor is divided by this, where our office is in the front half and home is in the back half of it. And second floor is fully office. And the last floor is our terrace garden. So I think here the idea came up is we had to dig a basement. So we took all that earth and we said we will make this building out of that earth which came out. And so it's all made in this stabilized mud block brick, which from the earth which came out from after digging the basement. And the other idea, what you see in these elevations is, we put some rules for ourselves. We said no sill, no lintel, no plaster, no paint. And then we just tilted these walls in plan. And that's what you saw in angled plan, what you see. So wherever the wall shifted, the window got inserted. The section where there's a central spine, where the staircase, and that's the central spine in the office, which takes it right up to the terrace. There are enough skylights to make the like light and ventilation work. So, and that's our central atrium here, where what you see on the right, which becomes like a courtyard to our office, because we are being in a dense residential neighborhood. We wanted a more introverted space, which could work for our office. So yes, this is where how these shifting facades happened. The east facade, where we have more windows as compared to the west facade. What you see on the terrace is our solar panels. The whole office runs on solar. The interior space, which is, I'm just going to take you, like, give you a walkthrough, slowly how we enter. This is where you enter and come to the entrance where you enter this, like the atrium, and that's our reception. Then you start taking that staircase, and this is, I'm looking down into the courtyard, and that's again the view from the other side, which is looking down and giving you a view of our office space. This is on the mezzanine, the first floor. So that's mezzanine. This is our first floor where I'm sitting right now, right here. And that's our conference room. And then we go up to the staircase where we come to the second floor, and that's our main office space. And then we keep going up there. After that, these are some shots of our office. And then we continue up. Yeah, so this is something in that atrium. What we did is we did all our office people, along with artist Amarnath, did a painting on that 3-floor structure. That is what you see, which brings, it's an idea where we did is this, that skylight is the central thing in like Lal Bagh, and that's the old Bangalore. And we made some streets along. So it was like a mural painted on the ceiling. And and we have this sculpture inspired by Calder's sculpture, and that's what brings energy to our office space all the time. And that's the right on top is where our terrace garden is. I'll quickly also take you through our interior space of house, living room, dining, the partition which separates the living, dining and our family room, the study on top here. So there is a very small double light space through which from above study we see down. And one thing about this project is how, like these different materials come together. We have the exposed concrete, we have these metal columns. So the building has all completely metal columns inside, but it has the concrete columns outside. So that's what gives a very strong masonry feel, what you saw in the initial pictures, and then a very light feel in the interior spaces. So yes, so the brick, brick, I just wanted to share with you. That's how the earth came out, and we made this stabilized mud block brick, which we put it in this rat trap bond, and that is why we could take the electrical lines through, and we could do no plaster inside or outside, or no lintel band, nothing, because we didn't have to chase anything for electrical lines. And all these sustainable ideas were included in this building. I will not go too much in detail. So yeah, and this project we are able to explain, and I think the core idea here was how beauty comes from the rawness of materials and how they are put together. Brick as it is, concrete is, wood is, metal is, glass is, as it is. Before this, we did try doing these projects, asking our clients to do these kind of buildings, but we were really not very successful. And I'm like, after we have done these buildings, we have done our own building, and clients have walked into in our office. Now, people are so happy to see what they see. They were never could imagine that how could you do building which is so raw and still have beauty in it. And now we have done 6 buildings which people just say, just give us building like this. So I think that's one of like biggest achievements for us in last 5 years. I would like to end my presentation here. So thank you. Thanks a lot. I hope it was useful.
Thank you, Architect Dimple Mittal, for sharing your experiences with us today. Now, we will move on to a short sponsor break.
Ergonomic articulated keyboard station for long working hours. Work Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Slide in, slide out, rotate or lock, easy access of CPU below the desk. Work Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Third generation concealed drawer slides for your furniture. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO sleek telescopic drawer slides for quality furniture, much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO, new generation concealed hinge for quality furniture, much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. Ergonomic doorknob lock for your bedroom and bathroom doors. EBCO, simplifying lives. Add design aesthetics to your furniture with aluminium profiles and handles. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Space utilization at its best. Wall bed fitting for compact multifunctional rooms. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Now, easy access to your bed storage with ProLift electric bed fitting. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Floor-to-ceiling walk-in wardrobe sliding system. Design it with glass and wooden panels as per your choice. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Ergonomic articulated keyboard station for long working hours. Work Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Slide in, slide out, rotate or lock, easy access of CPU below the desk. Work Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Third generation concealed drawer slides for your furniture. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO sleek telescopic drawer slides for quality furniture, much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. EBCO, new generation concealed hinge for quality furniture, much more than most. EBCO, simplifying lives. Ergonomic doorknob lock for your bedroom and bathroom doors. EBCO, simplifying lives. Add design aesthetics to your furniture with aluminium profiles and handles. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Space utilization at its best. Wall bed fitting for compact multifunctional rooms. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Now, easy access to your bed storage with ProLift electric bed fitting. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives. Floor-to-ceiling walk-in wardrobe sliding system. Design it with glass and wooden panels as per your choice. Live Smart by EBCO, simplifying lives.